What's up guys, my name is Dragon and welcome to Satisfactory Update 8. Now this is modded, as you can tell, because we have this little mod button, but there's not actually too many in here. Just a few things to make quality of life stuff and to get around faster, and a few extra other things just to make things go a little bit more smoothly. Now I have played this on the channel before, although that was 3 years ago, so I'd like to say I got a little bit more advanced since then, so you know what, we're just gonna go in and we are going to hopefully be able to get ourselves a nice start. So, I normally start in the grass fields. It is a really good spot to start in. There's a lot of resources right near where you spawn in, but I'm gonna do something different. I'm actually going to start in the rocky desert. It's pretty normal, close to the water, which is good, and I'm probably near oil, which is going to be good as well, and it's just something new than the grass field. So we're going to start in the rocky desert, and our session name, Logistical Nightmare. I feel like that sounds good. We're going to skip the onboarding process because I don't really care, and we're going to get right into here. I don't think advanced game decisions, I don't think I need any of that. Yeah, okay. A few of the mods I have just enable me to play this game how I like to play it. So things like better inventory space, different marks of items, so different tiers of items. So we'll have like Constructor Mark IIs basically, and you can upgrade them from then on. But before we get too far into this video, if you guys do end up enjoying it and want to see more Satisfactory, then do let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to hit the subscribe button, as we did hit 700 subscribers, and by the end of next year, aka 2024, I do want to reach 5,000, which is a big number away from where we are now. But with that out of the way, here we are. Now, I've actually never spawned here before, but it looks like a pretty good spawn. So I'm going to run around here real quick, and I'm going to see where a good buildable location is. Now, we're going to need every resource, so I can already see some limestone over here, which is concrete, which is actually, that's going to be real good that it's that close. So we have concrete near us, we have water literally right next to us. That is actually very nice, and a big pool of it too. We have an iron node over there, and I don't actually know what else we have around here. Ooh, this is a pure iron node. That's actually really good. And this one is also pure. Okay, that is very, very nice. So if you guys have never played Satisfactory before, what the node means is there's 3 options. So it's either impure, normal, like our limestone node, and pure, like these are. The way that works is impure will give you half the resources of a normal node, which a normal node will give you 60. Actually, depends on the resource, but for iron and for the limestone, that'll be 60 a minute. And pure, like these iron nodes, will give you 2 times as much resources. So even if we build ourselves a Mark 1 miner on top of this node, we will get 120 iron a minute, which is huge. Starting off with that, that's actually really, really good. So then all we need to worry about is copper, which I'm imagining that's also around here. Yep, just off in that direction. And now we have our little ship coming on in. And the first thing we need to do, we can start unlocking some of these tier 1 and tier 2 items and such, but I actually don't need these yet because these are not super useful for us. What we need is a ton of biomass or other types of fuel like that. And that'll give us our starting power, which means we will be able to actually build machines. So just running around here, you can tell there is plenty of leaves to pick up and a little bit of wood here and there, but not too much. And this will get better once we unlock a chainsaw, which means we'll be able to cut down some of these little trees, and that'll give us way more wood. But for right now, the leaves and such will be fine, because we can eventually turn them into biomass, and then also eventually turn them into solid biofuel, which will be the most efficient way of us using it for power. So we're going to run back over here to the hub, and the first thing I'm going to want to do is start up this limestone mine and eventually start making it into concrete, because concrete is one of those things that you're just going to need a ton of later on, and I'd rather get it started now than start it later on and not have enough for either building things or making stuff like the space elevator, which takes quite a little bit of concrete. So we're going to put down our miner Mark 1, and we're just going to put down a simple constructor right in front of it and connect that up with conveyor belts. And now whenever we give power to these machines, they will immediately start running, which we can actually do pretty soon, I imagine. So we're going to attach this line to both of our biogenerators, and we're going to go and make ourselves some biomass out of the leaves and woods we collected earlier. About 400, almost 500 biomass. That should last us a little bit of time. Not too much. So we're just going to throw a stack in each of these, like so. And this will burn 6 biomass per minute, so we have probably around almost 100 minutes of power. So now we're making concrete, and I don't think we have... Oh, we do have a storage container. Cool. I'm just going to attach that up right now. So that'll start filling with concrete very slowly, but it will eventually fill up. And trust me, we will use a ton of it. I'm not the best at building in this, so I probably won't be using too much building stuff, but I at least will make our factories look, hopefully, kind of good. So we're going to set up our iron farms over here, just with some Mark 1 miners. 5 megawatts, and it produces 120 iron per minute. Now the problem is these smelters only use up 30 iron ore per minute to smelt things down, and because I don't have anything like splitters or logistics, I can't really do much. And this smelter will go immediately into a constructor, and this constructor will start making us some iron plates. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this to start smelting iron, and then this will start making us some iron rods. So that'll use even less iron a minute, because this only uses 15 to make 15 iron rods. So technically, at peak efficiency with this one miner, we can have 4 smelters and 8 constructors making iron rods, which means we can get 8 times 15, so probably about 120 a minute, I believe. I may be wrong on that. Actually, I can check. Yep, 120 iron rods a minute, which will be really good. And the last and final thing we need to set up is copper to make us some wire, which copper is a little bit that way. I can actually see it right there. But this copper ore is also pure, which is actually really good. All the pure nodes are over here, so that's actually really nice. This is a really good spawn. So then over here, we're going to set up another smelter, which we're actually missing wire for. Connect that to some power, set this to start smelting copper ingots, and immediately put that into a constructor, which will give us wires. Now, the only problem is our power just ran out. I believe that's because we're using too much than our things produce. Yeah, you can tell here. Our production is around 30, and our consumption is around 44, at least for max. And to do that, we're just going to use these biomass burners, which we actually need iron rods for. And we're just going to do probably 3 of these. Actually, we'll stick with 2. That's fine. And we'll attach that to there. And in here, we'll put in each of these another stack of biomass and turn this thing on. There we go. So what we can do while these guys make us our resources is A, pick up more leaves like I'm doing now to make more biomass, and we can look for power slugs. Ah, okay, here we go. So if we come over this way, we have a little crashed pod. Now these have resources around them, and there's a chance I'll be able to open it and get ourselves a hard drive, which means we'll be able to unlock a custom alternate, not a custom recipe. If we get the hard drive, we will be able to unlock an alternate recipe, which means we can get either something that's more efficient, uses different resources to make more of something, or just in general be an all-around better option. But we need only 30 megawatts of power. Actually, we can just stick a biomass burner now and put that in there and then open this thing and get ourselves our first little hard drive. Another resource that I do really want to find is quartz, because we need to make ourselves some blade runners, which is an equipment that just makes it so you run faster and jump higher, which will make it way easier to get around. Alright, so we are back at the hub, and this has gotten us 200 concrete, which actually is very good. So we're going to go over here to the terminal, and we are going to unlock ourselves logistics, which we actually don't have enough rods for, but we should get that in about a minute. So we're going to put that in there, and that is logistics unlocked. So with logistics unlocked, we can now split this up way better and make it so this one miner goes into 4 smelters, and then 4 of these, and then put it into 1 chest. One other thing we are going to need to unlock is the field research, which we actually have enough for. Thank God we picked up those screws. And we're going to put down our molecular analysis machine. Now we can eventually start researching everything that we got. So we're going to start with alien organisms because we have most of this. And then tier 2, we can unlock obstacle clearing, which just takes some more cable and some more screws. Can we even make enough? Yes, we can. There we go. So obstacle clearing, select a milestone. We're going to shove everything into there and get that done. So now if we put down our equipment workshop, we can make ourselves a chainsaw, which just means we need more reinforced iron plates, screws, and cable. But now we have enough items and we can make ourselves our chainsaw. So what this chainsaw will use is solid biofuel, which we can now make down here. There we go. And now if we take this chainsaw, we can run around and start cutting down these trees. There we go. Now we got quite a little bit of solid biofuel ourselves, so we can eventually replace these biomass burners and we can instead use solid fuel. So what we're going to do is wait for this to reset, and we're just going to put in 100 solid biofuel, which just uses 2 per minute instead of 6, so it's roughly 3 times as efficient. What I do want to do is produce way more plates and rods over here. So what we're going to do first is attempt to unlock the base building milestone, which that should be easy enough. So we're going to shove all these in there. We're going to unlock base building. And then what we're going to do is tear down everything. And now we can make this a lot more efficient. So this one miner makes 120 iron ore per minute, which means it can supply enough iron to 4 smelters. And this should be relatively easy to set up. So now iron should be going into all 4 of these smelters one by one. We're going to get our constructors, and each of these smelters should be able to just connect up to a constructor. Set each of these to make iron plates, and now each of these should be able to connect up into a storage container. So now we should be making 4 times as many plates and using 4 times as much power as before. But even then, our consumption is actually only at 30 still, and we have a capacity of 160. So, not bad. So what we're going to do is set up something similar for the iron rods over here, except we're just going to have it be a tad bit less efficient. And now all of these should actually be able to merge together. Because we have 4 of them making 15 a minute, that means we're making 60 rods a minute. And that is exactly how much one conveyor belt Mark 1 can handle. So we're going to attach that together. Now the only problem is we are running out of power. Actually, no, we're not. Why did we get the power outage noise? Weird. Are these not connected? No, they're not. There we go. So now we're using about 70 to 80 megawatts and our capacity is 160. So we're using half of our capacity. However, now what we're going to want to do is save up enough resources to build the space elevator. As you can tell, it's a little expensive, especially on the wire side of things. But with our expanded infrastructure, this definitely should be possible. So if we come back over to our main factory, you can see, oh yeah, we have plenty of iron rods being made now. And if we come over here, we should have plenty of plates. Yep, perfect. So now we should be able to make ourselves, actually once we get our concrete, which is way over here. So now we can set up our space elevator, which this thing is huge. So we're just going to kind of put it somewhere where it's not super in the way. We could literally just put it floating above the water. That's fine. Jeez, this animation is always so cool to look at. Alright, but with the space elevator built, we can now work on phase 1, which is 50 of the smart plating, which actually, that's not too hard to do. I wonder if we'll be able to make that already. So I'm going to go grab a few resources. We will unlock part assembly, and we will see what those actually need. I believe it's just the reinforced iron plates and rotors, which those shouldn't be too hard to make, I don't believe. There we go. 1 reinforced iron plate and 1 rotor for 1 smart plating. We actually might be able to make that. There is the 50 plates, and we actually almost have enough for the rotors. I think we just need more screws. And there we go. Now we have everything we need to already start making us our 50 smart plating. All we need to do is attach that up to some power, smart plating, and throw these guys in there. And this should start constructing it over the course of about 25 minutes. And we'll have all that done. But with that being said, I am going to end off this episode here. We already have the resources in order to get ourselves Phase 1 complete, which we will do 100% in the next episode. And we have a lot of production for only, what, an hour and a half into the game? And we already have a good amount of resources. So yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good start. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a good rest of your day or night, depending on where you are, and I will talk to you all later.